What is up, my little Deinos? Vepsis, your host of the Helsinki Adrigas, and we are back for the UBL Season 4 Week 4 battle versus Ultraplayer and his team BT West Virginia Miniors. Make sure to check him out, his YouTube channel will be down below in the description. And let's go through the team of 6 that I'm gonna be bringing for this before we jump into the battle. In regards to the matchup, you can see right above my face cam, including my own roster, so you can see in comparison what kind of matchup we have to deal with. So we are gonna be starting this out with my choice Scarf Gengar, which is gonna be providing us a speed control over his some of the faster monsters that could otherwise outspeed me naturally, which are the Jolteon and Inteleon, barring them being Scarf themselves or Jolteon being quick feet and having status on it through like a flame mob, for example. But ideally this will be the fastest mon into the battle, how I vision it as, and I do want to have something that can outspeed Mew after a Dragon Dash, which is primarily the biggest reason why I have my Gengar as it is. And then we are running just Dual Stab, Thunderbolt to cover Inteleon and Mandibuzz from good damage versus both of them, and then just Trick to be able to cripple something like a Mandibuzz, which is like clear switching for him to utilize, which I highly anticipate to come. And if I happen to be able to afford to trick my Choice Scarf away to that thing, it's gonna obviously gonna be huge for me to be able to cripple it as such. So the next member of the team is going to be my Seismitoad. I know you're gonna be seeing what my attacking move actually is, but that is actually there. I'm running Mudshot, which is actually guaranteed to drop opponent's speed stat by 1, and this is basically there only just in case if this ends up being versus Mew, if he brings it versus me and happens to try to set up versus my Seismitoad, knowing that I probably won't have any phasing options or anything like that currently. So I have Mudshot to be able to kind of keep Mew in checked, so that other things on my team can come in later on and revenge kill it thanks to the speed drops that I'm providing through that move. And then we are running Toxic Protect, Stealth Rocks, very basic moves run on Seismitoad. And I don't really have to explain what they are there for. It's a supportive Seismitoad, especially defensive, primarily for the Inteleon and the Jolteon, which are primarily his special attackers anyway from his roster, barring the Mew combined with them. So that is going to be the Seismitoad running leftovers, I believe, this week, and that's going to be pretty much it for this one. And then we are going to be bringing our physically defensive, mostly Galeria Weezing with Strange Stream, Defog, Will-O-Wisp and Pain Split. This is there to help dealing with Mimikyu, Passimian and Rhydon, for example, and even Serena. A lot of his roster are physically orientated, so having a physically defensive Weezing with Will-O-Wisp is actually huge. I do have Defog just in case if he does bring GARBODOR, not only as a Conkeldurr check and make sure Mew doesn't have to use that thing for that role. And if he happens to bring spikes on that GARBODOR, I want to have Defog just in case for that, and Pain Split just to give my another way to keep myself healthy, barring the Black Slug as my passive form of recovery through the items. So that's gonna be the Weezing, and then we are gonna be bringing one of our wall breakers this week with our Obstagoon, which is gonna be Adamant Nature this week thanks to my opponent's speed. Here's how they kind of allow me to be actually running Adamant pretty safely regardless how the matchup is looking for us. So I'm gonna be running Dual Stab, Seed Bomb and Bulk Up on this set. I had Parting Shot and Obstruct pretty long time along with my first two moves, but then I changed it up and once I remembered that the Mandibuzz does have ability called Big Pecs, so I don't want both of those moves being pretty much unusable for the most part because of that. So I changed it up a little bit, adding Bulk Up so I can break through the Mandibuzz a lot easier when it's especially defensive. At +1 I will Okoi from full, and Seed Bomb provides me a way to hit one of his normal resisting Rhydon, which I honestly expect if it shows up, it's there to be able to deal with my Obstagoon and running like body press. So once it's in a range of a regular Seed Bomb or +1 Seed Bomb, then I can just go for that and pop it out of the picture. And if it's not in a range, I do have solid switchings to Rhydon. So I figure that this kind of Obstagoon is the best way to go. We are obviously running the Flame of God set this week for the maximum damage output, and hopefully it's gonna be doing a lot of work for us in the wall breaking role. And then I believe the second last member of our team, which is going to be our Corviknight, which is also physically defensive and running the Okaberry on it and Pressure as ability. Okaberry is there to be able to take fire type moves from Mew if I have to take in a pinch, but especially from Coparacha, which is actually a little bit annoying for me to switch into with Heat Crash and Power Whip combined, and potential Rock Slide for my Centiscore. So if that thing happens to run the right coverage, it would be hard for me to switch into, but this helps me to pivot around it, hit it hard with a body press and go from there, make sure that it's in a range for my other things to revenge kill it and neutralize it that way. So that's pretty much the Corviknight. It can also hard check the Mimikyu, which is also huge. So Galarian Weezing doesn't necessarily have to do that, and Corviknight can do that instead if it comes down to it. So that is going to be the Corviknight. And then the final member of the team, which is one of the most that I'm most excited to bring this week, which is going to be my Centiscore. And this week we are going to be running 3 attacks coil set, which I'm really excited to see that if we can pan out here. There are a few issues that this could come down to, which would be Aftermath from GARBODOR could wear me down really quickly if I have to take it down. Some potential rock moves from Passimian or Mew could scare me out. Obviously Inteleon having water type move could hurt me a lot, but for those I do have things in the back to deal with them. But in general he doesn't switch into too well to these 3 attacking moves, both being my dual stab and then Power Wave for the Rhydon. And once I get into +1 or +2, he doesn't have too many ways to really revenge kill me too well. So this could be one of my winning conditions, or just enable to break along with my Obstagoon to the point that maybe my Gengar can then sweep on the late game in itself with the Choice Scarf and the move that I will be able to lock myself into. So that is going to be the team, and now I'm gonna be pretty much pause it here until I'm back with Ultraplayer and we have the battle ready to go and we can start. See how this gonna be going. Hopefully it's gonna be doing well for us, but I know Ultraplayer is a good player, so I expect a tough battle ahead of us. But stay tuned, and I'll be right back with the battle in itself. Alright, here we are with the battle. We actually had a little bit of hiccup earlier that my opponent brought his previous team versus me, but you're probably not gonna end up seeing that. I'll probably delete that video clip because it's kind of pointless to you to see, but just as a FIA, you will know that we had a little bit of technical issues due to that my opponent did that. But let's see what he's gonna be actually bringing versus me. I do anticipate what I mentioned on the previous time, that he would be bringing Mandibuzz, Jolteon and Mew for 100% sure. Mandibuzz being Spadef, Jolteon because I have a Corviknight, he needs to have something to deal with it and he doesn't have a fire type. And Mew, I think, because it's his best mon, obviously, on paper, he has to bring it and try to use it one way or another to design as to be a key member for his this week. But the other half of the team, I really don't have good touch on that what it would be, but I feel like I am pretty prepared for any of the other mons that could show up. But let's go and see what he ends up bringing. So, we should be connected and good to go, and now we should be in the team review to see what he ends up bringing. So he brings Mew, he brings Mimikyu, GARBODOR, Jolteon, Mandibuzz and Rhydon. I don't think I need to write this down this time around, as I normally do, because I can always visualize from here. But regards to a lead, I could see myself leading with interesting. I could see myself leading with either Corviknight or Centiscore, to be honest. I feel like Corviknight looks pretty good versus maturity of the team, so I feel like I should be fine with that. If he leads with Jolteon, I have obviously Seismitoad as obvious as it is as a switching for that. So I'm gonna be leading with that. Corviknight deals with maturity of the team, and I don't need the Okaberry for the Coparacha potentially. Now it can be used to be a way to pivot around Mew, which could also have fire coverage. So that's what we are gonna be going with here in turn 1, and hopefully we get the lead right and I can get a good momentum early on, because I do pack the U-turn on Corviknight, and ideally I would be able to lure in something like Jolteon and get into my Seismitoad, or I'm able to lure in something like a Mandibuzz or get a slow U-turn if the Mandibuzz ends up being a lead, so I get my Obstagoon in to pop up the Flame Orb. But good luck and have fun to Ultraplayer. I did wish him good luck and have fun, and he did to me as well in the Discord. But just now for the video in itself, obviously, as well. Make sure to check out my opponent. He actually decides to always live stream on his Twitch channel, so make sure to check him out if you do want to scout for that. He does lead with the GARBODOR, which is interesting because normally this should not be able to touch me, but I wonder if he would be, because I know this thing gets pretty good special move pool. It has like base 60 special attack, so I could try to scout for this. And I think I want to scout for this just in case. I'm gonna go into my Sendiscots to see if he does pack for it. At worst case scenario, he would be swapping out into like Jolteon, for example. So I'm gonna make this swap just in case to see. And he does have the Thunderbolt. So let's see, what are you actually offensive then? That's a lie for GARBODOR. What the fuck, man? Yo, this man brought the heat, man, already. I like it. I like it a lot. Okay, so what does he actually have to switch into me? He could have the Rhydon. But to be fair, I think I want to just damage in this thing and hit what is in front of me. I'm gonna go for the Fire Lash right from the get-go and see what he's gonna be going into. If he goes into the Rhydon, I do get the defense drop, which is nice. I'm not sure, actually. I don't think I can Okoi from there. Let's see. If he's Rhydon, as he's gonna have his sweet time taking with this. If he's fully physically defensive, as I go into Sendiscot, or I have my Sendiscots in, the defense drop would make it as a roll for me to potentially... Oh, I get a critical hit on him. Wait, hold on. As I was looking at that cog, that's pretty massive. That's pretty massive. I should have seen that what he actually did to me on that point, but be able to dent this thing is pretty nice in that shape of form. I do leave myself a little bit weak to Mew, but I do have other things to deal with it. So I think I'll still stay in if he takes me out, so be it, per se. I actually forgot to see like what was his actual attacking move. He does pack Psychic on it. Okay, so he's able to take me out with the life of GARBODOR of all things, but I think I'll take that trade off, because that thing actually was a problem now looking at its move, like seeing its move pool. So that was interesting turn of events for a turn 1 scenario. So he has Jolteon, he has the Mew, he has the Mimikyu, and he had the Rhydon as well. I could honestly go into you, honestly, Corviknight, or go with my Seismitoad here. I like my Seismitoad here. I like my Seismitoad because it should be able to deal with everything. He does go with the Mew in itself, so I do have to worry about like if he would have a coverage for me or not. But I think the best thing that I can do here is that I'll go for the Mud Shot, because you're such a big threat that if you have the coverage to hit me, so be it. But then again, Jolteon would be a big problem if you catch me off guard here. So this is a rough turn. I could go into you on this turn, but I think I'm gonna Mud Shot. Hopefully he doesn't have a Crash Type move. He has Taunt on this. Okay. That's pretty good that I didn't try to do anything else, so I get to go for a Mud Shot. I get a little bit chip on him and actually lower his speed on this turn, so this... Okay, his leftovers as well. But that was an interesting turn. So he has the Mew here with Taunt, so I'm a little bit less scared about you, what you're gonna be doing. So maybe I'm good to go into my Corviknight, so I get a slow U-turn on this thing. And potentially scout what he could be attacking me with. So I'm gonna do that late just in case. And I kinda wanna figure out what this thing is all about. If he has something to hit my Corviknight with, the worst case scenario would be Electric Type move, which he would not be obviously clicking at that point. So I'm gonna scout for this. He does have the Psychic. Now I do wonder if he does have the Flamethrower or the Thunderbolt in itself. I should be able to take one hit. So I could try to scout for this, but this is a pretty tough turn for me to do. I feel like I should go for the slow U-turn. And I think I'll do that. Like, Mew is really tricky because I don't know exactly what he packs. He has the Thunderbolt, so that's rough because I don't have the proper berry. Ah, he gets the Paralyzation, come on. Okay, I do get the U-turn off, but that's huge that he gets the para, but he doesn't seem to be too offensive, so if he's around 80% of health, can he take my Gengar seat here? I need to check this real quick here. Gengar should be able to do a lot on this turn. I feel like I'm still pretty safe to go into also my Obstagoon, but Aura Spear could also be a thing. So what I think I'll do is that I go into my Gengar and bait in the Mandiboss. That's what I have to do. He's obviously gonna go into his Mandiboss. I don't think he should be risking a Specs Gengar here. So I'm gonna make that swap, ensure that I get my Obstagoon in. The one idea would have been that I would have gone Obstagoon immediately and banked on the fact that he would have, or he wouldn't have Aura Spear to hit me with. But that's kind of why the Centiskorch is actually kind of rough that I lost it so early, seeing that this Mew is a special attacker, because that Centiskorch could have been able to deal with it. But let's see what he does. I do anticipate him going to the Mandiboss here, so I'm gonna make the hard swap, try to position myself offensively properly and start to really dent him hard with that thing. So that's what we are gonna be doing. If he goes into the... I do outspeed him like I should be, so let's see what he does. I do anticipate the Mandiboss to swap in. He does swap out. Let's see the Mandiboss. I don't recognize the nickname. It is the Mandiboss. Okay, so we get this right, which is pretty nice. I could go for the knockoff here, straight up, because he should not allow me to attack him. So I think I'll go for the knockoff. It should catch the Mimikyu. It should be able to catch the Rhydon as well. So I'll do just that. This enables that I can... Yeah, he has to swap out here. Let's see the Rhydon or the... Yeah, that's the Rhydon. I think I recognize this one as a nickname. So I do go for the hard knockoff here. Gonna do a lot of damage because that's a critical hit. Wait, did that actually make it in a range of that? I'm sorry about that. That is actually huge. Rhydon, fully physically defensive without Eviolite versus Obstagoon. Level 50. That's in a range. That's in a range that I can take him out, so let's do that. This is actually huge. He does swap out. He probably sees this coming. He goes into Wannabe, which is the Mimikyu. Okay, so I do get to pop his... I get to pop his disguise as well, which is pretty nice. And now he does have to take the chip here. So this is pretty good turn as it is for myself. And now I can go into my Weezing right here, because I don't want this thing to get an opportunity necessary to set. Then again, I should be able to take any one hit from him. So maybe I should just go into you first and go from there. Yeah, I think I go into Corviknight. I need to preserve my time because I think I have been taking way too much time yet again similar to week 1. So now I have to start playing a little bit more quickly or not worry about doing the cogs. I have to sharpen up. I noticed I had 6 minutes, so let's now try to really... I guess like it's bad to say tunnel vision because you should not really tunnel vision too much in a battle. Like you have to really try to think fast, but you have to also recognize that what opponent could be doing, so you won't become too predictable. So this is a tough thing about the chess timer, when things aren't really going in your way necessarily right from the get-go. I do go into my Corviknight right here. Let's see what he's going to be trying to do here. He does go for the player up right here, so we should be in a pretty good shape. And this gives me the opportunity just to potentially go for a roost, which wouldn't be that bad of an idea. Let's see what he had in the back. He had the Jolteon, he has the Mandiboss, he has the Mew. So I could go for the roost to ensure that this is also another check for me for this Mimikyu, so I'll do just that. He does go for the Sword Dance. Okay, he is trying to be pretty greedy here because he got... That's why the para is pretty huge. So I have to get this one off right now. And now I have to get the attack off on it. So this is pretty huge turn. And I have to attack what is in front of me. Come on, Corviknight, you can do this. You can do this, Jetfire, come on. We can do this shit. It's really unfortunate that he got the Thunderbolt Para. Knock on wood. Corviknight, come through for us. This is huge. This is really huge. I should be doing enough to the point that it should be in a range for me to revenge. He does go for the Shadow Claw. We are physically defensive, but we do get paralyzed right there. That's really unfortunate. I have to go for it again. Come on, Ultraplayer. Don't be like this. Ultraplayer knows that he wins if he gets this shit going for himself. I do have physically defensive Weezing as well. Finally, Corviknight. That's what I like to see. There we go. We get the kill as well. Holy shit. That got really too close for my comfort that Mimikyu had that opportunity thanks to that Thunderbolt Para. Saber. That's the Jolteon. Alright. So, I have a pretty safe play. Just going to my Seismitoad right here. He has those things in the back. So, if he goes into Mew, I just sack this thing yet again. So, I won't worry about this. I just go into my Seismitoad and go from there. If he makes a double, so be it, or he makes a bottom pass play, so be it. Like, I sack the Corviknight worst case scenario, but I might as well do this play. He does go for the Hyper Voice. This is an interesting play, alright. So we tank this pretty well. And on this turn, I should be able to just to go for a Toxic here. If I catch the Mew on the Toxic, that would actually be pretty bad, actually. Maybe I should go for the Stealth Rocks here. I think I go for the Mud Shot to catch the Mew. And if I see Mandibuzz in front of me, then I go for the Toxic in itself. If he goes into Mandibuzz, immediately I'll just click the Toxic to get it on a timer. So he does hot swap. Maybe he doesn't have bottom pass or he was locked in. He does go into the Mandibuzz on this turn. So we do see that thing in front of us. Would he value getting this Mon Toxic being my... Honestly, I don't lose anything by going to my Corviknight. So I'm gonna make that play to get a slow U-turn into my Obstagoon to get to click buttons. Because basically if I get it into click Facade, it's already free at this point. If he knocks me off, it's not really a big issue. And he does go for the Brave Bird right from the get-go. He does value the damage on my Seismitoad, which is perfectly understandable. But now I... Can you stop hacking my little bird right here? My bird hasn't done anything wrong, and it already got crit. Granted, that Brave Bird crit didn't do still anything, and it shouldn't matter. It's just funny that he ends up getting that. He does go for the Taunt. Let's get that slow U-turn off, please. Come on, Corviknight. Come on, Corviknight. Come on, Corviknight. There we go. That's what I like to see, Corviknight. That's more like it. And we get a crit back. That's my boy, Corviknight. That's what I like to see, man. You crit things back as you have been pretty unlucky. We have been pretty unlucky with that, but maybe I should try to run like a shiny Corviknight now on and try to actually start shiny hunting to get a legitimate one because of this. But now I do go for the Facade. I don't think, like, if he has to sack right on that, that's so be it. But now I get the Mandibuzz in a pretty good shape. He lives barely, does go for the Brave Bird, but this frees up. This frees up my Gengar hugely, so while he was able to do that damage, my Gengar is a lot better position right now. Mimikyu is gone, so he doesn't have Shadow Sneak for it. He lost his Mandibuzz, so I like where I'm at. The Jolteon could still be Choice Scarf, because it didn't do as much damage, so keeping Seismitoad around is huge. So Seismitoad and Gengar are the winning conditions. He does go into the Saber, being the Jolteon, and honestly, even if he goes into Mew, I can just, like, I have Corviknight as a sack for Mew, worst case scenario, so I don't have to risk this. If he wants to keep going for Hyper Voices, he goes for a double, I don't really mind it too much. So this is basically what we are gonna be doing here. I could try to make a Hard Predict here, but he does stay in, I believe. And maybe this is a turn where he reveals to be Choice, because he didn't click the button pass last time. Okay, he does go for the Thunderbolt here. Alright. Alright, that's pretty solid to see. So basically what I get to do is that I could try to make a double if I really felt like it, but I feel like I'm always freed up to go for a mud shot. Like, keeping Mew low is nice, and keeping in speed low is pretty nice as well. He's Wish on this thing. Okay. It's a Wish Jolteon, but how much am I doing? I'm doing a decent chunk to him. It's funny because I mud shot, obviously EQ would have done a lot more to him, but he's Wish Jolteon with Hyper Voice and Thunderbolt. So he could be trying to Wish Pass this into the Mew in itself, but I think always mud-shotting is my best play, because I keep the speed stat low, and that's really good for my Obstagoon if it has to come in and revenge kill it after I have to sack my Corviknight to it. So I don't really mind this play at all. Like, mud-shot, while it could have been bad not be able to get the kill last time, it is still pretty nice for here. So yeah, he gets to do this, and I do get the mud-shot off. This is huge because I get the speed drop. He gets the Wish into this, which means that it's back at full and be able to actually live a Shadow Ball. So that's pretty unfortunate. But this is a turn where I basically just sack my Corviknight and get my Obstagoon in. That's pretty much the goal. And then I go for a huge knockoff on a following turn, and then I basically get a kill. So this size method is pretty nice for the like Obstagoon to support it, because I get these speed drops like I want to. And now I do get this one, and now he's gonna be just going for the Thunderbolt. Strong play. He knew that I had the Corviknight in the back to sack it, so he's not gonna waste any time. But that's perfectly fine, because my Obstagoon should be able to outspeed you, and I claim my kill. So we are gonna be doing just that. And this is what I like to see. I'm able to pretty much click buttons very quickly now, because now I have a lot better idea what I want to do in this battle, and that's huge for the timer that I can do this. He goes for the Protect, so his Psychic, Thunderbolt, Protect, and Taunt. Okay, so he doesn't have any sort of setup, and he doesn't have any sort of way to hit me, so Obstagoon is actually huge for me to keep her on. But now I'm gonna go for the knockoff, and this means that my Obstagoon is going to be a huge winning condition, and one of my ways to deal with this Mew. The unfortunate part is that as long as this Mew is healthy, Gengar cannot outright revenge kit because I'm Choice Scarf. So I have to watch out for that, but he does have to swap out on this turn, and he does go into the Rhydon, which means that I can revenge kill this thing, or I basically get to two-shot it, combined with knockoff into my Seed Bomb. The burn is a little bit of issue, obviously, because I'm getting worn down, but I get to click a Seed Bomb and revenge kill this Rhydon right from the get-go. So Obstagoon gets another kill, and we are good to go. And that's another Mongon down for him. And he still has the Jolteon, he has the Mew. Did he have anything else left? The Mimikyu is gone, Mandiboss is gone. The Rhydon is obviously gone. Did he have anything else? The Garbodor is also there. So he only has Jolteon and Mew left, so that's pretty nice. And now he does go into the Mew. This is where I basically get to sack my Weezing, because it doesn't beat any of these last two more. So I'll just do that. We are pretty safe position right now at this point, that I'll just let Weezing go down and I get my Seismitoad in, because basically all it needs to do is to mud shot that Mew down, or just a little bit, to the point that I can revenge kill it from there. So I'm just gonna be doing this play. He does go for the Protect, which is pretty interesting. I guess he banked on me staying in on that turn, which is actually honestly completely fair. So what I'll end up doing is that I'll let him attack me, and I go for the Pain Split, so I do huge damage to him. Yep, now I bank on that I can actually live this hit if he's not offensive as he's not. So this is huge, because basically after this turn I get to bring... Look at that, that Pain Split came through, man, on that turn. I like it. Because now I basically get to do is that I'm gonna click Strange Stream right from there. And now I basically allow him to pick me off, so Gengar can come in and click Shadow Ball from here. And now he does go for the Psychic on this turn. And now I do go into my Gengar, and hopefully it should be able to be enough to pick this thing off from this amount of health. He's gonna be having Protect to gain a little bit of health, but I would like to think it should still be enough that my Gengar picks him off. So we are gonna be going for that. Hopefully after the Protect it doesn't pick it off or I do manage to pick it off. So hopefully this is going to be the game, and we can claim 2 kills with Gengar. That's what I'm hoping for. At this point, obviously, he's gonna click protect, hopefully getting enough recovery, which he might, to be fair. But after that turn, I should be able to go into my Seismitoad, and I click Mud Shot, and I should be fine from there. So we're gonna be just going for the attack. Ideally, Gengar can claim 2 kills, and we can wrap it up from here. If not, then I bank on Seismitoad doing the work after that scenario. So hopefully, Gengar, please get this kill. Please get this kill. Okay, he is banking on that. He gets another round of protect on this turn, which is perfectly fine, because the Mew could try to pull it back a little bit, but, or at least preserve him some differential. But here he does get to go into his Jolteon. I guess the other option would have been if I was Specs. He would have been able to tell from that, but I'm able to go for another Shadow Ball from here and just proceed to get some more damage off. The other option would be that I would swap into my Seismitoad after the Mew comes in. But I'm not sure if that should be my play, because honestly I should be able to just secure my win by just staying in here and proceed to click Shadow Balls. Because if I swap into Seismitoad, basically what I would be doing is that I get my Seismitoad in, clicking Mud Shots, and then I Toxic it down. Like, I'm not sure if it's gonna really preserve me differential wise. So I think my best play always is to... I'm gonna check the Mew. Like, if the Mew is like max HP and I have my Gengar in, I should be able to do at least 80% to him even if he's max HP. Now I just bank on the fact that he's not at this point of time. He does go for the protect, and let's see, he does. I still think my best play is always to stay in, even in regards to the fact he will live this. He should be 75%, so even if he's max HP, this is a wall for him to live. And obviously I have no idea what spread he is running. I haven't done any cogs, what kind of damage he was doing to my other things. But ideally, Gengar, you can take it out, and I believe you just did. And there we go, Gengar does pick up for us a win over the Ultraplayer. Great game to him. That was a very... He got very hectic early on with the GARBODOR. I still need to go back and see, like, what the heck did he hit me with? Because my Centiscopes went down on health really quickly. That's on me, because I was a bit busy looking at my cogs, like how can I manage on the things going forward. But good game to Ultraplayer. Make sure to check his channel out, as well as the stream. I'm sure he was live streaming this as well while we were playing. So if you want to check his live reaction from there, or just go follow him and able to see his live reactions every single week going forward for the remaining of season from his behalf, make sure to check that one out. And next week I believe we go up against Johnny GB, who I have heard his name before, but I haven't seen him playing up until now that he has taken part in this UBL season. And up until now, until I know what happened on this week on his battle, he is still undefeated. So I'm anticipating to be a very rough battle, and that's gonna be an important game for us, because we are fighting basically for a #1 seed and a bye week versus him if we keep this rate as we are going thus far. So hopefully next week we can come back in a tough battle versus a very rough opponent and be able to claim a win, and ideally that could put us in a position that we can get that bye week. But again, thank you for watching. Stay tuned for week 5 when we go up against Sonic GP, and until then, I'm gonna be seeing you guys later.